Hello, this is MacHeads 101. My name is Jake, and this is going to be your fourth Java GUI tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about the action listener, which is going to give our GUI some functionality. Basically, the program we're going to be making is there's a text field, and you enter your name in there, and then you click the button, and then a little window pops up, which says hello plus the name you entered, and that window is called a JOption pane. It's not like a JFrame. It's like a different kind of window that's just like a pop-up. So we don't have to code all the stuff that we had to code for the JFrame. So we're gonna make this extend JFrame, and that's not at all how you spell extends. There's no Y in extends. We import java.awt.event. And that allows us to use some event handling, which is going to be, in this case, the action listener, and implements action listener. And now we're getting an error here because this interface here, action listener, if you remember from the polymorphism tutorial about overriding methods, well, there's a method in here that has to be overwritten, and that's called action performed, and that's going to allow us to do something when an event happens. If this is confusing you now, you'll see once I start building the program. So first I'm going to make a private JLabel, enter name, because that's what it's going to say, because we're telling the user to enter their name in the text field below. Private JText field name, because that's what's going to be in there. Private JButton, which is a button, click. That's what we're going to do to it. And private string store name, and that will equal nothing right now. And that's just going to store the name. It's going to store the value of whatever is in this text field. So, yeah. So, public second, make the constructor. Set layout null, because we're going to use absolute positioning. Set size, I'll make this 300 by 250. Set default close operation so it can close when we press the X. Yeah. And I'm not going to set a title. So now, enter name equals new JLabel, and I'll make it say enter your name. Button equals new JButton. I'll make it just say click. And I don't know why I think I called it button. I called it click. And name equals new JText field. And I'm not going to give that any default text. Alright, so now we set the location. We're going to use that set bounds method I went over in the last tutorial. Set bounds. And I will make that 60 in, 30 down, 120 large, and 30 tall. Name.set bounds. And that'll be 80 in, 60 down, 130 big, and 30 tall. And the button, click dot set bounds. That'll be 100 in, 190 down, 60 by 30. Alright, now here's what I have to do. Click dot add action listener, and this is going to give it that action listener so that we can do something when the button's clicked. And I'm just going to write this, which means this action listener, the one that we implemented. And so it's not actually going to have an action listener until I override that method, but yeah. It's kind of hard to explain until you really see the whole thing, but now we have to add all our components, add click, add name, and add enter name. Alright, so that's all for the constructor. And now the name of that method we have to override is public void action performed, and takes the parameter of action event E. Okay? And that's the name of the method. And see, we don't have the error there anymore. And here's where we're going to make it an if statement to basically mean if the button's clicked. So if e.getSource, e.getSource means the location of the event equals click. So if the location of the event is that click button, so in other words, if the button's clicked, do the following. So if the button's clicked, store name equals name.getText. And what name.getText is it's a method that returns the value of whatever is in that JText field. So store name will then have the value of whatever is in that JText field. And that JOption pane I was talking about, so JOption pane.show message dialog. And this is really simple. It's just like a pop-up thing. Parent component, don't worry about that right now. Just put null. And the message is hello plus, what was the name of that? Store name. And here I'm going to put a system.exit 0, which means close the program. So it's going to close the program after I click OK on this JOption pane. Okay. So now just second s equals new second s.set visible true. Okay, so what we did is we got our components here, the label to tell you to enter your name, the text field where you enter your name, and the button where you click, and that string just stores the value, is going to store the value of whatever's in the text field. The add action listener, this, which means this action listener that we're implementing, and this is the method for it. So when I add the action listener to this, it means that it's waiting for an event to happen, and if the event happens, it goes to this method. And it means, alright, so an event happened. So did that event happen at the button? Okay, it did. So now do this, which is store name equals whatever was in the text field. Little window pops up, says hello, whatever your name was, and then exits the program afterward. So now I'm going to run this. Here it is. Enter your name. I'll write Jake. And press click. Hello, Jake. That's the JOption pane. And you can customize this message part and customize this image. I might talk about that later. I'll see. But click OK, and then the program exits. And if I got rid of system.exit 0, the program would not exit when I press it. I would have to exit out. So I'll say John. Hello, John. See? But I can exit out. So thank you for watching MacHeads 101. Subscribe and goodbye.